Yeah, that's what we're doing today. Welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. It feels like it's so short today. There we go. That feels a little bit better. So I'm just gonna take a second, drop in. I feel like anytime I do a live, like I need to just like breathe and calibrate because I always be feeling something and all the energies before, and then as soon as like it goes live, I'm like, hold on, maybe I need to approach things a little bit differently, or maybe there's a different way I need to come into the conversation today, you know. And I'm sure you guys seen it in my other videos. If you haven't, then go to see my other videos. Sometimes I come in and I'm like super excited, and today I feel really calm. I feel peaceful. I feel grateful. I feel content. I feel loved. I feel cared for. I feel grateful. Yeah. Yeah. Hashtag gratitude, bro. If you haven't given gratitude today, maybe take a second. Maybe pause this video. Pause this video. If you're not on here live, pause the video. Say 3 things you're grateful for that you really can like tangibly feel, or not tangibly feel, but like energetically, you know, can feel. Um, so yeah, I just I had so much energy to come on this camera, which is so funny, and now I'm like, maybe we need a hug today. That's what it feels like. It feels like another good hug will do. Another good hug will do. Um, oh, I can always do that first. I can just like tell y'all who I am. Come on. You see? There's a cat. And I'm like, I don't want to pet her. I do. But I don't want this hair flying in my face. That's what it is. I don't want this hair flying in my face. Hi, little girl. Hi, little girl. I gave you food. I gave you food. I'll give you some more. And you can see her head there. I was like, can you see her head? There it is. See? Hi. Do you want to say hi? Are you going to look at the camera? Are you going to say hi? Come on. Just face this way. Say hi. You want to say hi? You want to say hi? Say hi. She said no. Not today, but she just want to be in it. She wants y'all to know that she here. That's it. She just wants you to know that she here. That's cool too. That's cool too. Um, I did say I needed a hug. You just got a lot of hair that I need to brush off of you later today. But hi, Zyra. You don't want me to hug you? Hug. Mm-hmm. Hello, Zyra. Hello. She said, "Did somebody say hug?" That's what this is. Did somebody say hug? And what she really wants is more food right now. So don't let her fool you. Okay. And that may be a message for one of y'all out there, or many of y'all out there, or several of y'all out there. Okay. Don't let it fool you. Don't let the niceties fool you. Okay. I've been feeling that with some other stuff. Anyways, I'll introduce myself in a second. I've been feeling that with some of these people, like when they just be trying to play nice, and I'd be like, you're not moving like you normally move, like be normal. And then like maybe I could respect you more. But on these like extra fake niceties, I don't know. And not calling my cat that, but that was just what it reminded me of. because I'm really in prayer around like a certain situation. Um, so yeah, I hope y'all have y'all something to drink now, some water. I got some ice water, and I'm about to be crunching on this ice until I finish it. I think because it gives me peace. Yes, I need to take. I'm about to order some pills for my iron. The people that I was normally taking vitamins from or supplements from, they've been out of stock for a little bit, and so I think I found a replacement, but it just needs to come in. Um, but yeah, in the meantime, in between time, I still like my ice, so I'm not mad at it. Later, or once my mouth recalibrates to normal, I also have my tea. I'm really excited about it. It's echinacea with spearmint and honey. Okay, I added the honey. It's yummy. I already tasted it today. Yeah, I'm like chill. I have like chill energy right now. It's so funny. I had so much energy earlier. Maybe that's just like what everybody is feeling. We just need to be in a space of reflection. So, my name, welcome. This is Embodied Spirituality, my little corner of the universe. This is Embodied Spirituality. My name is Ashante Marie, and this is where we have a conversation with the divine, where they have a message for you, me, and thee. So, that's what we're into today. If you are watching this the day that I'm posting this, uh, yesterday was the 9/9 portal, the 9/9 in 2025, which is a 9/9 year. Because maybe y'all watching this in another year. That'll be super cool too. Maybe you guys are watching this. Oh my God. Maybe you guys are watching this next year, like on the 9/9 portal or right before the 9/9 portal of next year. Because it's still like, even though it's going to be 9/9/10 next year, right? Or 9/9/1 next year. A new cycle beginning. I think it would still be a good place to reflect on what this current cycle is, which is the 9/9/9, which is really coming to a phase of completion before you step into a new cycle. Like they may have resonances, or they may have, I guess that's the word that I'm going to use, pillar points that may be the same, but there's going to have, there's going to be a newness, okay, for this next new wave that's coming in. And so if you're hitting me in this 9 year, it's definitely a space to recognize the things that you really do want to release and let go of, and that you have learned the lesson from and matured from. Because really, by the time you get to this place, it's 9:09 on the clock right now. Ooh, spirit. When you get to this place, you have done so much of a journey. You have done so much of, um, like your life. You've done some introspection. 9 is really the hermit card, which is about introspection, which is about going into like, the wilderness. It's about going up into the mountains or going into the cave and just like having a certain level of reflection and understanding about where you came from, where you want to go, what lessons you've learned, what people you've met, the experiences that you've had, um, and really making sure that you tap into your belief system and your faith system in the process too. So I really feel like that energy is like all around this season. Also, we're in September. Also, we're in the eclipse season. Also, that means the fall equinox is just around the corner, which also means that October is around the corner, which means the veils are beginning to thin slowly. But I can feel it. But I be always feeling it. So um, the veils are thinning. I think prepare yourself, lock into Taking care of yourself. That's what I wanted to get into. Taking care of yourself, taking your supplements, taking your vitamins, especially as these seasons are changing. I'm not just saying that for you. I'm really saying it for me. Like, I need to stay up on my vitamins. I can get seasonal depression. I know that for myself. So, knowing that can allow me to do better um, in my preventative care. Okay. And making sure that I don't overwork myself. I think that was a big message this week too, where it was like I've been wanting to do this one thing and I'm like super excited, super jazzed to do it, right? But it just felt like too much. It felt like too much, and especially once the rest of like the school year started to pick up for other skaters, and getting into like the requirements of what they need and blah 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 X Y and Z. Um, and working more in that capacity on top of competition season coming, and needing to cut music and choreograph, but also make sure that they're testing and also making sure that they keep up in these other classes. And, you know, it's the game. It's the game. It's the game that I've signed up for. And instead of dumping like more on my plate, right? Which I like instinctually wanted to do. And like God was like, hey, here, you can do it like this. Like, hey, here's an idea. If you really want to do it, here's the grand idea. And I was like, all right, bet. Got really excited about it. I'm like rolling with it. I'm like, this is cool. This sounds cool. Um, Spent the hours and hours and hours already. I probably have spent probably close to 15 hours, like between listening to the songs, figuring out where I want to cut it at, listening to the songs again, re-editing where I want to cut it at, listening to the songs again, actually cutting the music, pasting the music together, editing. And I still need to edit probably a little bit more, a bit more to make it like cleaner. But then on top of the editing, it's like, okay, I gotta promote it, the class, I gotta promote the things, I gotta figure out the schedule, I gotta figure out the outfits, send that out. And I'm like, this is not even the season that I normally do this in, you know? And I'm so grateful for the download. I'm grateful for the insight. I'm grateful for the inspiration. And we may be able to do something with this, with some more time on our hands. But right now, like, don't overload your plate. Like, that's not the answer. This is not the season of overloading your plate. I think taking care of things, being diligent, showing up daily, doing your best, that's something. But overloading your plate, that's not what this is, you know? And I had to recognize that for myself, this week, or this past week. It was like, okay, I should have been promoting. And I'm like, no, like, I don't even have, I'm still trying to work up the energy to do what I'm doing when it comes to like my skating stuff, but also recalibrating. That's the word of the day, right? Recalibrating and readjusting to now also doing more of my energy work, like balancing my energy work. And I've been feeling, when you do energy work, there's so much that you have to do for yourself to keep your energy levels your channels clear, right? But also to make sure that you're like releasing the things that you've been healing, too, making sure again that your channels are clear. So re-clearing your channels after doing work, right? And doing that, but also too recognizing when you need rest, right? Because when you do energy work, or at least because I'm so accustomed to like working, I'm tangibly working, I'm typing, right? And it feels like there's like some level of physical task there, or my eyes are just being like, whatever. And then there's like skating, I'm on the ice and I just feel like I'm like more active, right? And so with being a Reiki practitioner and like in the process of it, it is a very calming space. So it almost doesn't feel like too much work, but then you like feel the effects of it after the fact. And sometimes it feels like, a harder run or a harder workout than the one before, or, at different instances, and like adjusting to that. And also because I pick up messages from so many ways and channels, like it's not that I just do energy work. I'm, you know, I see a lot of things, I feel a lot of things, and I get the dreams, too. And so these gifts blooming a little bit more is I'm trying to choose my words wisely, um, because I want to make sure that I'm manifesting the right thing. But it's showing me it's showing me how to take more rest in order to rebalance, right? Because I felt like one day I was like really tired, and like anyways, yeah. I just feel like it's giving me time to think about that, and maybe that's something that you need to do too. Like it's 9:18, which is 9:9 again. Um, but that made me think of something else that I had already written down: a positive mindset. So this is also because this is a 999 portal, and any portal is a great time to do any manifestations. It's a great time to, of course, do any reflections. Um, but as you're doing your manifestations, or as you're trying to focus on what you want to bring into your life, or what you want to focus on, or what goals you have, or getting clear on what dreams and goals you have, like you want to make sure that you're keeping more of a, there you go, positive mindset. Um, Keeping more of a positive mindset and speaking about it positively. Um, it's easy to be like, I want this, and be like, I don't know if I could ever, and I can't, and I don't know if I, and I don't know if I, and I don't know if I, and I have fear here, and like, it's easy to kind of like say something that you want, and then like put a whole bunch of stuff in the way. Like I've been telling one of my students that lately, actually, because she's like, I'd be like, okay, we'll run through this, and she's like, well, what if I run into this person? And that I was like, okay, well, just don't run into them, because she's been skating for a while, and she knows how to. She's trained enough to know how to go around people subtly without having to like do any crazy whatevers, and also know how to see people and not run into them. Um, we've gotten there in her in this stage of her training, so I'm like, what? Why are you asking me a silly question? Like you're just gonna go around them the same way you've been going around them before, and just keep it relative, in nature. Uh, and then the other day she was like, well, what did she say? It was something like so random. It was something so random. And I was just like, one, that's not going to happen. And two, why are you creating imaginary? That was the first thing. Why are you creating imaginary scenarios that won't happen? You know what I mean? Like, why are you creating imaginary scenarios that should not happen? Like you're creating like mountains where there shouldn't be. That's what I said, I think. Why are you creating like mountains where there shouldn't be? Why are you creating fears where there shouldn't be? And so that's a part of like keeping the positive mindset, being mindful of how you're speaking about things, not seeing things as a burden. And one thing that I think is interesting, even in the fact that the title of this is Ariana Grande's My Girl, um, the lyric from her song, get it, get it, get it. Because when I asked Spirit, I was like, what should I name this video? Gave me all the topics or whatever. And I was like, Spirit, what should I name this video? Like, I don't know. Like, it's a random brain dump to me, it feels like. And they're like, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. And I was like, maybe I heard that video earlier today, but like I've also heard a whole bunch of other videos, and I never really actually knew the song. I haven't even still listened to it in its entirety. But sorry, love Ariana. Just haven't heard that song all the way. Maybe I'll listen to it after this. Maybe you need to listen to this after this. Anyways, but it was like the get to, right? Like instead of being like, oh, I have to do this and I have to do that, and like, in order to get this done, like I have to do this. And it's like you get to, right? Like as much as I did not necessarily want to teach what the other day, maybe that was like 2 days ago or something, because I was just like emotionally in a space where I needed to like be in a space, but I also needed to like do my job and do what I came out to do. So I was like, all right, Spirit, like help me, help me, help me, help me, you know? And so I had to change my mindset into, because I was like, I do not want to be here. But I was like, bruh, listen, I get to do this. You know, like as I was telling myself, I'm like, even though I'm tired, even though I like, I get to do this. Like I get to do this for a living. And that's cool. And not just for a living for my entire life, but I get to do this and make some money off it. Like I get to do this and inspire these kids. Like I get to put on, like I could be doing something so boring and gray and beige. Do you know what I mean? I could be doing something so beige, you know? And I'm like, and beige is cool in its places. It's cool in its spaces. But beige ain't great everywhere. No matter what they try and tell you. Like, no matter what they try and tell you, bruh. So, yeah, staying in a positive mindset about what you want, right? And realizing what you get to do, right? Also, in lieu of the song, too, or in lieu of the title, really, not necessarily the song, but in lieu of the song, I want to, because we're talking about manifestations, you get it. Like I really believe in like, but like get it, girl. And then you get it, get it, get it, get it. Make it say oh, damn. Make it say oh. Anyways, like let the abundance come in. Like let the abundance come in. Let the abundance come in. Like to me, I just have to remind myself, like, the divine is abundant and there is no limit, you know, on God. Okay. If you don't know, I use the word God out here. Okay. If you, sorry, I'm moving the camera too much. If you feel like universe or source energy or divine or Jah or Allah or whoever is a better word for you, use it. Okay. Don't be offended by the word that I use. This is my side of the universe, bro, God. I'm telling you, okay? And if you want to check out some other videos, I've done healing around myself. I had to not use that word for a little bit to get back into a place where I could use that word once I got into clarity about how I felt about God and what God was for me and not what God means to other people who I don't believe be thinking or moving all the way God be talking and thinking about moving. And not to say that I'm perfect. So there's really like, I'm really not trying to be out here judging, but I think that there's, I think when you harness energy like hatred, but then you talk about God, I feel like you're not in the same vicinity. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's just what I mean. So girl. And then the other thing that I wanted to bring in, I'm just like, I'm not trying to run through this video, but now that this energy is picking up, now my energy is like trying to run through this video because I really have some other things that I want to do. I did tell you guys, well, let me finish the A's first. So, um, I love Ariana Grande. One of my favorite songs by her is Seven Rings, by the way. Okay. Another abundance song. I like that. I like that type of energy. I like that. Okay. Um, and it likes me. Ooh. Okay. What you want wants you. I like money and me and money are friends. And me and money like to work with each other, right? Money understands that it's a tool. Money understands that like, but it's not even just money because I don't even just be thinking about like abundance is money, you know? Like abundance is everything, like everything. You know what I mean? Like air in your lungs, that's abundance. Do y'all not understand? Do y'all not understand? Like having clear air, not everybody has that, you know? Running water, drinking water, abundance, abundance. There was a guy who said a quote the other day or earlier yesterday, and this was a guy who was helping like help malnutrition in Africa, and he's from I guess Flint, Michigan, and he was saying that he thought that he was doing so much work with helping out in Flint, Michigan, and when he went to Nairobi, he he was like, I realized that I was starting on third base, like, and he was talking about his privilege, right? And like to me, also too, I think we have to uh, get clarity on how we use the word privilege, bro, because I feel like we try and be or brown people. Let me speak from a brown perspective and even more so maybe an African American perspective or a black person in America. There we go. Black person in America's perspective is like, and not all black people, so duh. Like, but there's this like sense that when people are thinking like privilege, they think the white privilege, and they want to demonize like privilege. And like, so to me, that's not the right way to go about it if you're trying to attract abundance in your life. You know what I mean? Because it's not the privilege that I'm mad at in real life. Like I'm not like, because when I have my money, I don't want somebody to be mad at me when I make my millions and trillions of dollars. Like, don't be mad that I did that, you know? But to me, I feel like me in those spaces would be focused on trying to help people no matter what. First of all, I'm in the space now where no matter what I have, I'm trying to help people, and like it may look differently in different areas. I'm not always cashing, got coins to give away, but I do have energy. There's things that like I have a lot of abundance around me that provides abundance. If I have an extra, if somebody, look, listen, how do you feel if somebody had like extra oranges in their house and they're like, here, take 5 oranges, and you had 0 oranges in your house and it's getting into that winter season and you feel like you need a little extra vitamin C? Does that not feel like money just fell into your lap? Hello? 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 And I was thinking about that earlier. I don't necessarily, okay, so anyways, I was thinking about my cousin had helped me clean out some stuff, right, in my place. And there was some stuff that I didn't necessarily need. Maybe I had it in excess, had it in abundance, or just didn't necessarily need it anymore, right? Um, that whole saying, like another man's trash is another person's treasure or something like that. And not necessarily calling my stuff trash because that's not how I feel neither. My stuff is great, you're welcome. But I was just not in use, needed in, it wasn't in need of use in my possession anymore. So passing it along to my cousin, he was grateful to receive it. He was like, he had a little bag of stuff by the time that he left. And that was, to me, that feels like dope. And I love that. And I remember, like, when I go over my sister's house and she's cleaning out some of her stuff and she's like, oh, I don't need this anymore. I said, girl, I can use this. Oh, that shirt. Oh, yes. That stapler, that calculator, like, you know, like random stuff. Like that still feels like abundance because it is. So if you're in a space of giving, it shouldn't matter how much money you have. And you shouldn't like demonize the people who have privilege. But I think seeing people who have privilege that move ill is an issue. And I think that's what people need to think about. And I'm not saying that like every white person in the world is supposed to, or every white person in America is supposed to give like all their money to like Black people. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, one, be a human, like be a person. Like if you have a business and you are in a place of multicultural descent, hire people across the board. You know, especially if they're qualified, because here's the thing that I fucking hate. Okay, let me just let you know. And I didn't do my like disclaimer in the beginning of this video, but I cuss a little bit. But here's what I fucking hate. I hate that like there's this sense that, oh, because he's rolling back DEI, and not to say that he meaning the other person that is trying to say that he does something in a house somewhere. But rolling back like DEI initiatives, acting like people who are brown aren't as qualified as some of these other people. And if people of brown descent are in a professional environment and has had some sort of like maturity or training or something, like most of the time, and especially if they're women, we usually are going above and beyond. We're usually, what happens is we're usually overqualified for the job, is what it is. That's what it is. So why are they over here like trying to act like, oh, there wouldn't be any Black professionals doing anything if DEI wasn't in the mix? Like, that's also not true. I also feel like there is still importance in DEI. So let's be clear. But I just don't like the rhetoric of like other nationalities thinking that we just get shit because of like some level of affirmative action. Like, no, people that I know work hard. The women, and some men that I know, some Black men have worked really hard, okay, to achieve what they've gotten. We've had, and then had to go up against the adversity of people who don't care about other people. And we've still succeeded. So I don't even know how we got on that topic, to be fair. Because I was not trying to talk about that. Okay. Yeah, how do we digress from that? Ugh, anyways. How did we get there? It doesn't matter. God said, okay, that was enough, that you can go somewhere else. Recognizing medicine is where I want to go right now. Recognizing medicine when you see it. That was just a concept that I was thinking of earlier. Because I was like, Yeah. I was on YouTube, and this, the algorithm brought up this video, but it was kind of random. Like, it wasn't like I clicked on anything that similar to that video um lately, but it was like something that I probably would have wanted to look at some point, and I saw it and I was like, oh, this looks dope, and it's in the enough time frame, but where I was at wasn't the place where I wanted to watch the video or like do the exercises that was on the video per se. And but I recognize that video as being medicine for me, right? And I still need to click on it. I still need to see what the thing do. But I was like, nah, let me save this in my watch later, because this feels like medicine. This feels like this is gonna do something for me and bring me some insight or some knowledge or something. And I think there's something important about recognizing medicine when you see it, and then also recognizing medicine when you hear it. Right? I was watching a video, or I had a video playing this morning, early this morning, and like it was a reader. It was a reader, and um, and it was a pick a card too. So I already knew which one I wanted to pick, right? Instantly, because I recognized my medicine. I said, that's it. First of all, I know I want to pick that. Then when she described what all the items were, I said, that's exactly still the one that I need to pick today. And as she was getting in, I was like, oh, this is so like, it's such a short, like, I don't know, 6-7 minute segment, but it was like so informative, because it's like, you'll say one thing and I'm like, yeah, you're right. And then she'll say something else and I'm like, whoa, that's a whole nother train of thought. But like, yes, you're right there too. And like, there was a certain moment where I was like, because I had already meditated in the morning, already tell myself, okay, this is what I want to do. This is like the plan. This is what I need to do to kind of like keep myself up and kind of stay locked in. And or to get more locked in. And she was saying like all of that stuff, like confirming, like, yeah, exactly what you thought you need to do. And it was even the message of like, yeah, you get the insight. The spirit says you get the insights. You like, your visions are what they are. Like, you get what you need to get out of those things. And I was just like, bro, you're so real. Like, first of all, get out my business. But second of all, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And then, of course, like when we're watching these videos, anyways, when we're clicking on these videos, we're asking for these people to get into our business, right? If they're really aligned, if they're really attuned, if they're really like dropping the message that you're supposed to hear that day, you know that they in your business a little bit. But some people be like, oh, they in your, like, you in my business. But that's why I like her, because I feel like she's definitely extra more tapped in than some other people. I think other anyways, that's a whole nother conversation. But recognizing medicine when you see it. And like, I was already in the video, like, halfway through, 3 minutes in, and I was like, oh, I'm definitely gonna have to watch this video again. So I watched it again, and I still feel like I just need to go back and like write down some of the stuff. Because I'm just so like, what? So I think that's something, and that can mean for food too. I don't know why I feel like that's not the purpose of me bringing it up, but it's also a part of me bringing it up too. Food as medicine, right? And sometimes maybe you're in the grocery store and you see that vegetable over there is really calling your name. That fruit right there, it's really saying, buy me, please, please. The smoothie shop is like, hey, your blender is calling you, said, play with me. Juicer calling you. The water, like recognizing your medicine and going towards it. And I don't mean medicine just in terms of fixing things and healing things, but I mean medicine in terms of like preventative care too. Cool. There's something about divine timing in the mix. There's something about divine timing in the mix. Okay. Also too, this morning I was thinking about like my friends and stuff, right? I was like, I messaged my friend back who messaged me yesterday, who was like my love, Okay. We're just like, you know, um, and okay. Uh, and she was like messaging just to see when we can like catch up, if we can catch up this week. And so this morning I'm sending her back my schedule, and she's like has a time difference and all that stuff. So we're gonna have to like navigate it a little bit. But I was just like really excited thinking about my friend this morning, and just like thinking about having like good friends, you know, like the ones that you can really tap into, um, and love on a little bit, you know, extra. And so I was on the ice today too. And speaking of like Ariana Grande, I was teaching my student that starts with the name A. My name starts with an A. And on the ice, I had seen an A that looks like the way that I draw my A. Like it looks like my A, right? And I'm like, do you see this A? Student with an A. Do you see this A? And she saw the A. And I was just like, that's so cool. And maybe 2 minutes later after that, maybe 3 minutes later, because when I got on the ice, she wasn't there, this other person. But 3 minutes later, I look over to my right, and across the ice on the other side, diagonally, it was a friend of mine. Okay. And her name, yes, her name starts with an A, right? Her name starts with an A, just to like keep her, you know. I don't know if she wanted everybody to know, but she's super cool, by the way, right? Like, if you're a skater, and if you know a skater that starts with an A and she knows how to do backflips and plays a little bit with fire, you know who I'm talking about? That's who I see. Okay. So, anyways, I saw her today, and it was just like, it was so funny because we saw each other at the same time. And she kept saying that. She was like, I just think it's so funny that we saw each other at the same time. I looked over, and then I was like, is that? And then she looks at me and she's like, is that? And then we're just like, ah. And we both are like in lessons with our students. And like usually, not all the time when you see somebody that you haven't seen for a minute, do you like stop lessons? But there's certain people in the world where you're just like, the whole world. And I haven't seen her in person in so many years, it felt like. So I was like, student, hold on. And she was like, student, hold on. And we just like came into the middle of the ice. It was so cute. It was such a moment. Came into the middle of the ice and gave each other a big hug. And it was so funny to me too, because like everybody was kind of in this like black gray color tone today. And I had on this bright color, and she had on a different bright color with her jacket that wasn't blue. It was like pink or something. But both of us being as colorful as we are. It was just so good. It was just so good. It was just so good. So she was like, we'll talk later. So coached or whatever, and then we chatted after the session, and just like tapping in real quick, like getting the juicy news. We took a picture together, and it was just like so exciting to see her, and it's just so exciting to feel the love, you know. And the divine timing, she kept being like, we saw each other at the same time. Oh, and that was what was funny. When we were still on the ice, she had taken off her bigger jacket, and she had on a blue a blue sweater with a white vest. And normally when I wear this, I wear my white vest. And today I was like, I've been wearing my vest a little bit too much. Like maybe I won't wear the vest today. Like just not today. Because I wore my blue vest yesterday. I've been wearing the vest. Like I wore the vest like 3 times last week. Like let me maybe not wear the vest today. And it was kind of warmer today. It's been humid. So didn't wear the vest. But then when I saw her, I was like, oh, we would have been twinsies too? Oh. And so I told her that after I got off the ice. And so then we took our picture. She took off her vest so that we were like twinsies and gave each other a big hug and picture. So it was really exciting. It was really great to tap into her. And that, to me, that's just like divine timing, right? And then also being able to like because I think earlier this morning when I was thinking about my other friend, I was thinking about another friend that I have in skating, and just being able to like have really cool friends, but we like tap into each other and like a real person to person. You know, it's not just like the facade of who we are or like the of who we are, but that's who we are too. But it's also like, girl, let me tell you, hey, girl, yes, this is what I'm going through too, you know, sort of thing. So it was really good to see her. It was really great to see her. And she was an A, and I just feel like the A's got it. And no offense to anybody whose name don't start with an A, and no offense against you. I'm just saying the A's got it. I love being an A name. I love being an A name. I love being an A name. Okay. Okay. And that's how I feel. It just like locks me into angel energy, which is the other thing that I was going to say about divine timing, God's little angels. And my mom likes, or one of the things that she's told me before a couple of times is like, you know, God sends you his little angels, where it's like maybe you need a little extra pick me up. Like maybe, you know, you know, maybe you need a little extra pick me up. And then God drops his little angels in the mix, and that just like gives you this like supercharge, right? And I freaking love that. And that's what it made me think of. Like seeing her made me think of that, you know? And I just love that. And like recognizing the little angels in your life. Like I'm sure you have them, but are you recognizing them for who they are? Do you see that it's God's angels? You know, and not to say that they're perfect people, but in that moment, they're there for you. God sent them to you. So that's like most of my video. That was most of my video. Having some friends, knowing your friends are your angels too, you know. Um, and if you don't feel like you have any friends, and if you're like actually wanting to have friends, like do something, go join something, go do a sewing class. You know, a lot of people meet people in their workout classes. I feel like a lot of the people, I've had tons of people say that they've met their like some of their best friends through skating. Like one of the coaches that was there this morning that I talked to this morning too, um, she had been working at the rink for some time. And while I was the skating school director, I had hired this other girl from out of town, and she started to work there. They became friends, and they're like best friends. And like, that's super cool, right? And that was like a work situation. And that's like one thing, like being a coach, right? But then I've had it in with people who've taken classes before. Um, people, so there was like people who've been in my group babies situation. Um, there was one person, there's these two that, you know, started to just like be with each other all the time. And they were like, we met here, but they became best friends. Like they're spending holidays, they see family friends, like, and that's so cool. That's so cool. That's so cool because they both decided to take skating school classes, you know, that year, that season. That's so cool. Um, so join something, go and do something, right? Uh, take a drawing class and exchange numbers with somebody, you know, that seems like they're cool to hang out with, or you know, has an interesting personality, or dresses kind of cool that you're into, or something, you know, whatever. um and it may be hard, or it may feel hard, maybe it's not hard, it may feel hard, but just like, and here's a if you feel uncomfortable talking to people sometimes, right? Because I know I used to have my like, and I can have my moments too still now, but like before, when I used to be really a little bit more introverted, a little bit more to myself. Um, one of the things, because I'm a Capricorn, like, I don't know if it's a Capricorn thing 100%, but I really like to compliment people. Like, but I think it is kind of a Capricorn thing. I think because we find value in like status, um, and like some people can call us materialistic, but I think we find it in status and leadership, and like we can understand greatness. I think we can recognize greatness. I think it's easier for us to be able to give a compliment, and not, and we also don't feel like, at least for me, I don't feel less of anything because I'm paying somebody a compliment. It actually like amplifies me. So to me, I feel like an easy way, if it's like hard to be like, hi, my name is, hi, what's your name? Like if that's hard to just like jump out and say, you can be like, hey, I really like your thing, you know? Like, hey, I really like your purple hair, you know? There was this one girl that I probably could have like made like more friends with. I just was like not in that space, and she had a friend, but that was just like also too, we just had like a little angel moment. It wasn't supposed to be a forever thing, and some people aren't a forever thing. It may be somebody you just pass by and be able to say hi to. But I was at this pizza place one day, and this girl with purple hair was like cute purple hair too, like curly. She had this lively personality, but she was standing with her friend and they were talking just and I'm just trying to be like, I'm just trying to grab this loaf of pizza, trying to jump back in my car and get back home. Because I think I was probably like on my period. Like I was really like in that like, okay, and it was dark outside. It was late, like 9, 10, like 10 o'clock. Like go to bed. No, but I was like, there they were talking, and then she's just like talking, and I'm not really trying to pay attention at all, really at all. I think I didn't really know what they were talking about, and then all of a sudden she like pulls me into their conversation, right? And she's just like, do you watch whatever show that she has? And I was like, no, I think I've seen like maybe a little bit. She's like, yeah, that show is like blah 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 blah. And she was like, yeah, it's like a crazy, like you would love it, blah blah blah. And I was just like, and she was like, my name is, and her friend's name was Sunny, I think. And I remember because it's Sunny and Cher. But she had like a cool name. I probably have made like a short video in my phone or something that documented her name. But anywho, but we had that little conversation, but it was cute and it was cool and it was just like a moment. And then whatever show it was, I think I ended up watching it. I wish I could think of the name. I can't think of it. I could see it in my mind a little bit. They had 2 seasons, maybe they're doing a 3, but I think the first season they had Lucy Liu in there. They had that one girl with the red hair, but short, and they had some other girl. I don't know. I can't tell you, but it was like a crazy show where like the women killed their husbands or whatever. um, or something where it made you think that they did, but they didn't necessarily do that. I don't know. But whatever the show was, it was hecka crazy. It was hecka cool. And my mom, who's also into like cool shows too, I told her about it and she was hecka into it too. So it was just like such a little moment. Like God was like, no, this is going to be something that you should watch and be entertained by. And this is the person who's going to bring it to you, this girl with purple hair. And then right after that, I saw another girl with purple hair. And it was like right before my sister was dyeing her hair purple. And I was like, Nia, guess what? I just see some people with purple hair. Or she had just dyed it purple, one or the other. And it was just this like purple hair symbol, and that was really cool, So just recognizing God's little angels. Before I get off of here, right? Because this is already hitting almost an hour, which is crazy news. Reminder that if you are catching this video in this month, it is September, or this month or the next month or the next month or the next month before the end of 2025. If you're catching this video before the end of 2025, we are still in the great lock in, which means you're locking into your dreams. You're locking into your manifestations. You're locking into what you want. You're locking into what God says that you're meant to have. Okay? We're locking in. Okay? locking into showing up, locking into getting back on the train, locking into eating healthy, locking into drinking our water, locking into our vitamins, locking into taking our walks, locking into taking a run, locking into working out, locking into reading, locking into watching the news, locking into watching other things that like stimulate creativity, locking into artwork, locking into artwork and creativity, locking into like cooking food. Maybe you want to become a chef. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. We're locking in. And whatever you want to lock into, all the things that you want to lock into, especially if you can like, put them in good subject bubbles, lock in. Lock in. Um, I'm here for it. I'm excited about it. I'm still feeling the energy. So we got to be about that life. Let's see what it do. Let's see what it looked like when we get to. It's not gonna be 2022, but 2026. In a few. That's my rhyme. There we go. There we go. Okay, I'm getting off of here. Bye. Love y'all. I get off of here. They're not gonna let me. I pressed the wrong button. Now I am. Bye. Now I'm not gonna let me. Well, let's say it one more time, just for the ones in the back. Take care. I love you. Oh, if y'all didn't, that's probably why I'm still on here. If y'all haven't, like the video, subscribe, share with your friends. You know this did something for you. You know it did. You can drop an emoji. I love emojis. I love emojis. I love emojis, especially if they're love emojis. So do that. Thank you. I appreciate it. The channel appreciates it. The divine appreciates it. It's showing that you appreciate the divine by watching my video, because this is all for the divine. Bye.